say this is a pretty outstanding morning. It amazes me how much, I mean, certainly this area changes with the seasons, but even with some of the weather, the clouds, the area just, I don't know, pops differently. I always love coming out here and never take it for granted. Alrighty, thank you for being here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up, it helps the algorithm, and consider joining the channel membership, only $1 a month. Especially if you've been a long-time subscriber, please consider joining the channel membership as a fan or an elite fan. Starts again at $1 a month. I do want to thank INOV8 for sending me this pair of shoes. All thoughts and opinions are strictly my own. Today, I am reviewing the INOV8 TRAILFLY MAX, a more maximum stack with some few changes, improvements, if you will. And the original INOV8 TRAILFLY was a shoe that I really enjoyed, but is the Max better? We're gonna get into that in today's video. I'll be talking about the overall build quality, the comfort, the performance of the shoe, and lastly, the value, and maybe compare it with a couple other shoes. So let's get into it, but first, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the INOV8 TRAILFLY MAX?
INOV8 states, "Go long in the TRAILFLY MAX, perfect for long distances and ultras over hard-packed trails." As for some of those specs and features, you get an anatomical fit, a single-piece engineered mesh upper with Metacrail overlays, gusseted tongue, FlySpeed Pro supercritical nitrogen-infused EVA foam, a boomerang TPU insole that is about 6 millimeters deep, and also updated to be lighter. INOV8's proprietary rubber outsole, which is their G-Grip graphene rubber outsole with 4 millimeter multi-directional lugs and flex grooves, which adds enhanced agility and feel. 24 millimeters of heel stack and 18 millimeters of toe stack. However, including the insole and the outsole, it's closer to 35 millimeters in the heel and 29 millimeters in the toe for that 6 millimeter drop. 280 grams or 9.8 ounces in a men's US 8.5 and $170 US MSRP. Chad, back over to you on the trails.
Thanks, voiceover Chad. Okay, moving on with the quality and the comfort of the shoe. Overall, build quality is quite good. I feel like INOV8 did a great job at choosing materials that are going to be durable, but also building the shoe in such a way that they give you exactly what you need and nothing that you don't. The shoe offers very little distraction, keeping things somewhat minimalistic, even in a Max shoe. That single piece engineered mesh upper is matched with some TPU overlays around the midfoot and then across to the toe box and around the toe box, offering good abrasion resistance and protection, but also a good secure but comfortable hold across the side and across the top of your foot. The tongue is gusseted on the medial and lateral side, so it doesn't drift or move around on you, and it's also moderately padded, although I do wish, an area for improvement, that the tongue had a higher quality padding and something just a little bit more dense without adding any more bulk. The laces are nothing fancy, although I do notice that I don't have to tighten the shoe down very tight at all to get a good lockdown. It wraps around your foot comfortably in a way that there is no rubbing, pinching, hot spots, redness, nothing like that. Another thing that I really like about the build and comfort of the shoe is the anatomical fit of the toe box. It's a little more rounded, which fits your toes and the shape of your foot better, kind of like an Ultra or a VJ shoe as well. However, I do wish the shoe was just a tad longer. Maybe 1/8 of an inch is all it would take. I would not necessarily size up in the shoe because the rest of the shoe fits spot on and perfectly. Now, despite the length coming up just a tiny bit short, I mean, I can feel my toes just barely kissing the end of the shoe. It's not uncomfortable, it's just simply noticed. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. It never was in any of their other shoes. This fits the same as their other shoes, so just take that for what it is worth. And then lastly, on the heel, moving around to the back, There's some light padding in there, but it does a good job at, you know, securing your ankle and your heel. I do notice, however, compared to other shoes, that the heel, and I'll show you, right across the ankle and the heel here, it seems to be a little lower than most shoes. I still feel like there's a good secure hold in my ankle and heel, but it's just noticed that this just comes down a little bit lower than most other shoes. That is a very similar experience to their other shoes. When you first put your foot into the shoe, you're gonna feel like that ankle collar isn't up around your ankle and heel compared to other shoes, but it really isn't a problem. My ankle feels, when I'm running in the shoe, it definitely feels secure. It's held in well. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's all I'm going to say about that. Moving down the shoe to the insole, on the inside of the shoe, you get their boomerang insole, which is a beaded TPU type insole. It is among the best, if not the best insole on the market, in my opinion. I love this insole. It's bouncy and it helps offer just a little bit more protection as well underfoot. It's really nice and fun. Adds a good dynamic aspect to the feeling of the shoe. But really comfortable. You get a new nitrogen infused midsole, and of course, being a Max shoe, you get a few more millimeters of stack compared to the other TRAILFLY shoe. Now, the midsole wasn't quite what I was expecting. It's not a disappointment, but I feel like since it is nitrogen infused, it's not as soft or bouncy as I would have expected it to be. I will say that I think the midsole is resilient. It's gonna last a long time, and it is comfortable, even though it's not the most plush. And then moving down to the outsole, last topic, that outsole rubber is amazing. It's a graphene infused rubber outsole. It's going to last a very long time, very durable, very grippy. Couple areas for improvement, specifically in maybe making that midsole a little softer and more bouncy, and improving the tongue, the quality of the tongue and the padding that they use. But other than that, I really like it. The shoe is fairly breathable and very comfortable around my foot. Well designed, a good fit, minus maybe adding just a little bit more length in the shoe. So good quality and good comfort overall. Of course, I'd love to hear from you if you've ran in INOV8 shoes, especially the INOV8 TRAILFLY or the Trail Talon line of shoes. Let me know what your experience has been. Have you found the shoe to be comfortable? Is there something lacking, or an area that you felt could be improved? Drop a comment down below. All right, moving on with the video, and of course moving on with the run. What am I at? Almost 7 miles in of my 11-mile trail run this morning, and we're gonna move on with performance. We got some light rain last night, giving me some hero dirt today. It's really nice and refreshing out here this morning. Now, when it comes to the performance of the INOV8 TRAILFLY MAX, one thing that I try to do with actually all my videos is to explain beyond the quantitative measures or aspects of a shoe, but rather to focus on the qualitative aspects of the shoe, those things that make you feel different, the way the shoe performs and how the shoe behaves, you know, that experience. So there's a few things that I really liked about the original TRAILFLY that do carry over to this shoe, the TRAILFLY MAX. One, I really like that the shoe connects me to the trail. The original TRAILFLY was amazing at that, and it's no different in the TRAILFLY MAX. I feel connected to the trail, I feel grounded to it, I get great feedback with what's going on underfoot, you know, especially in a rocky section like this, but really anywhere on the trail. I feel like I'm getting great feedback underfoot, allowing me to adapt and adjust and feel, you know, just kind of agile and nimble. The TRAILFLY MAX carries over that attribute, making the trails a lot of fun to run on. I called the original TRAILFLY a fun enabler. And so one thing that I wanted to find out was, did the TRAILFLY Max give you max fun on the trail? And I do feel that it carries over that fun factor. The other thing that I really appreciate about the shoe is that it gives you a good but comfortable, secure hold around your foot. My foot is not moving around side to side or front to back. I just feel locked in, but without a lot of restriction either. Again, I feel that nimbleness on the trails. I would say that the shoe feels fairly lightweight. And as a daily trainer, or a shoe that you may even take out on some of those ultra runs and races, the weight is such that it's not going to, fatigue your feet or legs over the long haul. Related to the weight, I appreciate, and I mentioned this earlier, that INOV8 gives you exactly what you need, nothing that you don't. So they remove any sort of bulk or cumbersomeness of the shoe, which adds to a positive experience running in the shoe. Now, the midsole in the original TRAILFLY was nothing special, but good. Had some bounce and softness to it. But one area that I wished was improved, and I think the only thing that I mentioned that could use some improvement on the original TRAILFLY was to have just a little bit more midsole stack, a little bit more underfoot. Well, lo and behold, the TRAILFLY Max delivered that. It gave you some more stack. Then INOV8 stepped it up a notch and provided a nitrogen infused midsole in the TRAILFLY Max. And while that did change the dynamics of the midsole, I do wish that it was a little bit softer and just a little bit more bouncy underfoot. It does reward when you start to pick up the pace. It definitely gives back and helps propel you along. And the more that I run in this shoe, the more agile and nimble the shoe feels. It just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's breaking in a little bit. So I'm finding that as I run in the shoe more, I'm enjoying the shoe more, but I still wish that there was just, I don't know, just a little bit more softness and springiness, bounciness underfoot from that supercritical midsole. It does, in combination with that full spread of rubber, offer really good protection without taking away trail and ground feel. The last thing that I'll mention about performance is that outsole rubber, that graphene infused rubber outsole with those 4mm lugs. It's just simply outstanding outsole grip. Very confidence inspiring, and a rubber outsole that's gonna last a long time. It does, seriously, I can't say enough positive things about the grip. It does amazing. So overall, positive performance experience in the shoe with maybe a couple of small areas to still improve. But let me get to the top of this ridgeline here. Oh, gotta catch my breath a little bit. Get up to the top of the ridgeline up there. And then we'll talk a little bit about the value of the TRAILFLY Max, maybe compare it to a couple other shoes, and I'll give you my recommendation on the shoe. Whew. That's my buddy Kreg down there. He's a good, strong, very fast runner. He's catching up to me, although I keep stopping to talk to you guys. He's crushing it. All right, let's get to the top of that ridgeline before he catches up with me. Beautiful, the sun is peeking out behind the clouds. I love it out here. Love these trails. So grateful for a body that enables me to come out and do things like this. It's wonderful. All right, let's talk about value and compare the INOV8 TRAILFLY Max to a couple other shoes. US MSRP is $170. I do feel that for this shoe, that's maybe $10 or $15 higher in price point than I would like to see. It does make it comparable in stack height and price to the Arc'teryx Norvin LD4, another trail shoe that I really liked. Hey guys, I'm just talking to the YouTube. Yeah. Hey. It also compares to the VJ Max X2, another shoe that I really enjoyed. But that said, I feel like the upper is more breathable compared to the VJ Max X2, so I enjoy that aspect of the TRAILFLY Max. And compared to the Arc'teryx Norvin LD4, I feel like you're just a little more connected to the ground and to the trails. You have a little bit more feedback underfoot. Although I really liked the Norvin LD4. Outstanding build quality shoe. So do I recommend the TRAILFLY MAX? I think it's worth checking out. If you enjoyed INOV8 shoes in the past, I think you'll enjoy this shoe as well. Alrighty, so the INOV8 TRAILFLY MAX, a fun enabler, just like the original TRAILFLY, shoe that connects you with the trails, makes the experience positive overall with a few minor improvements, but a really good shoe nonetheless. Now stay tuned for much more. I've got a lot of trail shoe and gear reviews and some races and run ventures planned, so a lot more coming to the channel. Please subscribe and join the channel membership. I'll see you on the next video. I'm gonna wait for my friend Kreg. He should be coming up over that ridge anytime now. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I am today on this beautiful morning in the INOV8 TRAILFLY MAX. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now. Simply beautiful. And there's Kreg, the man, the myth, and the legend himself.
How's it going?
I kept seeing this yellow shirt slowly catch up to me, and I was like, oh man, I gotta stop like talking to the camera and find out who this guy is that's like super fast and catching up to me.
I kind of match your shoes.
You, what was it? Yeah, you got the yellow and the yellow and blue shoes. Yeah, we should trade shoes.
We need to switch. Yeah.
And then I figured I'd wait a minute or two and
Thanks.
give you an opportunity to catch up to me. Kreg's a much faster runner than I am.